Waters run deep. Still Snoop Dogg and D.R.E. 9-9, nigga.
Guess who's back?
This is the Buckeye Cast. Hello, all Buckeye fans. This is the debut episode.
Holla.
What's that?
Holla.
Yeah. This is our first episode. This is, what's today's date? 9/1?
9-1.
Seems appropriate. First day of September. Get this football season started right. I'm Joe Warwick. If anybody knows me, I bleed scarlet and gray. I don't give a shit about much else. If it's not Ohio State football related, I really could give a crap. And obviously, this is an explicit episode, so you might not want to listen to this when you're taking your kids to fucking school or whatever. I got my number one contributor on the line. He is Sean Henry.
Holla.
He is in the D up in Detroit. I am in St. Petersburg, Florida. Happily relocated from Northwest Ohio through Orlando and few points in between. But we hail from Tiffin, Ohio. We were born and bred in the Buckeye State. Had that beaten into us regularly. So we have nothing more to talk about than Ohio State football and the passion we have. We're going to come with strong takes. We're not going to fuck around. We're going to give you opinions. If you don't like them, maybe you try something else, something a little lighter. Or go read the Columbus Dispatch, whatever. So we're going to jump right into it. This is going to be a weekly podcast, about 20 to 30 minutes at the most. I'm going to hit you during the week if anything hits the news wire with a quick little blurb or a quick hitter of what just came down, if there's some news that you need to be aware of. And please subscribe to me. This is the Buckeye Cast on iTunes, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We'll be on Stitcher, I believe, and Libsyn, and what else? SoundCloud. We'll be on there. And also hit the website, thebuckeyecast.com.
The Buckeye Cast, y'all.
That's right. Everything is the Buckeye Cast. All of those handles on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We got it on lockdown.
Hey, this is Sean, everybody. I just want to jump in here real quick and let you know Joe is for real. He don't give a shit about nothing but Buckeye football. I love it. I have to set him straight sometimes, but this boy lives and breathes, sleeps, and eats this stuff. So I think we don't fuck around in our analysis. We're hard on our team, just like a Ohio coach should be. We're going to try and come at this and keep it real. It's first game. We'll probably be a little light this week, but we're watching you. So, Joe, how you going to get this kicked off?
Yeah, and give me those comments. Give me your feedback. Tell us how much we suck. Tell me that Sean should not live behind enemy lines, whatever. I don't care. I shouldn't live down in Florida either, probably. So give me all that bullshit, and, we'll take it with a grain of salt. But this will be very opinionated, and you're going to get a true fan's point of view, in my opinion. If that wasn't opinionated, I don't know what the fuck is. So
With some football knowledge, I feel like I don't know. We'll see if we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, even if we don't, it's opinion. Everybody's fucking got one.
Even down.
Yeah.
What we're gonna kick this off with, Joe?
Yeah.
I see. I'm looking down at this too deep, and man, I could go right through this thing position by position with you, and
We could look at this thing for
Tell you
hours
what,
and dissect it honestly.
I know. It's all new faces. It's all new faces. One thing, when I was counting it up though, just looking at this defense, I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 or 6 kids from Ohio starting on that defense. I love to see that.
Yeah.
Good on. Go through.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with starting true Buckeyes on a Buckeye defense. You mix in a couple Michigan kids here and there, and then who you got? You got any Florida kids in here? No. Oh, you got
We don't got
Nick Bosa.
starting. Yeah.
So I like to see Justin Hilliard mixed in there finally. The kid was quiet. Did he ever get his black stripe off? I mean, seriously.
I gotta think that the Craig Fada thing they got him listed or Justin right at the. I don't know how they're gonna play that out, but I think we're so loaded and deep at linebacker. And Chris Worley, I hope he rocks. I can't believe he's as good as Jerome Baker, but I'll give the kid a chance. I mean, we'll see, but time to be a fucking man, Chris Worley, and we'll find out.
Yeah. How much does he look like D. Lee is the big question mark, because that's where the comparison is going to go. You know, as a walkout linebacker, you got to have the speed, and number one, you got to be able to cover and tackle. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to require a linebacker to do.
Is he the walkout or is Booker?
He is. Booker is backside.
So
yeah, weak side. So you got Worley and Baker backing him up. I gotta think Baker is gonna really press him for some time. The kid is just a fucking athlete. I mean, at that size too, a 6'1", 225.
Well, anytime I ever heard anybody, and even last year they were like, "This fucking dude's a freak. This dude's just like one of them crazy athlete dudes. I think he'll be a difference maker." But he's gonna have to overtake. But he's gonna have to overtake him because I mean, shit. There's only 1 year that separates those guys. Right. I mean, I cannot see Jerome Baker riding a pine for the next 2 years. Ohio State. I cannot see it.
He's going to get reps. He's going to get reps for sure. Take injury out of the equation. He's going to get reps. You know, Burley can't play every snap of every game. Nobody can. You know, especially on defense. So that's going to be an interesting matchup on a positional level. My interest lies in all the ores that are on this depth chart. Have you seen this 2-letter word called ore all over this place, especially when you look down the running back, H-back, and all the receiver levels? Holy shit. I'm not sure you could field more ores on a depth chart and still call it a depth chart. This looks like a roster of all receivers on the team.
And to me, I don't know. I don't put Curtis Samuel and Dontre Wilson even listed under running back on this. Heaven forbid, if Mike Weber were to go down in the first quarter of this game with a serious injury, then it's going to be someone like Antonio Williams or something that's now the running back. You're not going to be able to. You're going to need another guy that's the running back that's not Curtis Samuel or Dontre Wilson. There's no way that those guys can do that all year between the tackles.
Right.
And I think it's. I mean, I guess for this game, and it's a 2 deep for this game, but I mean, I feel like it's Mike Weber, and then I know Samuel knows all the plays and is going to do a lot from there, and could get through Bowling Green no problem. But would you want him to? I mean, shit, we already know those 3 guys are playing.
Right.
Who's the next in line behind them?
One thing you got to think about is, do they consider taking the red shirt off of Antonio Williams? You know, at the running back spot, especially.
I think you have to.
Especially if somebody goes down. I mean, the kid could could seriously get 10 to 15 carries a game if say Weber or Samuel goes down.
We're not even going down. I mean, say we're up 35-0 at the half in this game. I don't want to be running the shit out of Weber, Samuel, or Wilson.
Right.
I say get Antonio in there, start getting him some carries. Or, who I don't see on here, Demario McCall. Did he have a setback in spring or fall? Or
They got him on the... they talked about him being a kick returner. He's not on this depth chart, but they talked about him being next to Dontre or back up to Dontre on the kick return. That kid's probably a little bit away. I haven't heard his name even mentioned by Herb, so I would think that the kid's a little bit off.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I just
they probably want to throw some weight on him too.
Yeah, but as long as you don't lose that shiftiness, we'll see. I'm Dontre. I guess this is your last chance. You're a senior.
Yep.
Fucking me and my boy Joe been kissing your ass, giving you love since freshman year.
Since you've been getting shoestring tackled.
And we want some returns, man. I know you got it in you, brother.
Yeah.
Ball out.
And like he said in an interview that he just realized, all of a sudden one day that it's his senior year and he hasn't really done anything. Yeah, he hasn't.
No, it flew by, and I mean that's the all these kids. Nobody wants the red shirt, but sometimes a red shirt's nice. Because I feel like his career just flew by.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen a lot of pictures of his kid. Looks like a cute little kid. That's nice of him. So, one person that was a late add to the 2 deep, which kind of threw me off, is KJ Hill. That kid got nothing but praise in every Urban Meyer press conference last season. Like, it sounded like the kid was going to be a starter or crack the 2 deep, and never saw the field. Obviously got redshirted. So he was left off this initial 2 deep and then was a late add. I don't know if Herb didn't give the official sign off and somebody released it early or what. I found it kind of odd because the kid's got a lot more experience than somebody like an Austin Mack or a Benjamin Victor,
Right. And it seems like they listed everybody else up there, and if we still had our boy Torrance Gibson, we'd have another dude that would be on this OR list. I guarantee you he'd be on that list.
Oh God, that's another topic. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
But on these receivers, though, I mean, Corey Smith, he's been there forever. I don't know. I hope he puts out. I hope he becomes JT's reliable guy. Your boy Johnny Dixon, you've always kind of been high on him. I've never been in love with him. I think we both had high hopes for McLaren and Clark. And all I hear is good shit about Austin Mack. I can't believe Victor is. I'm with you. I can't believe Victor's on there and not KJ Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, Victor is a skinny dude. They gotta slap some weight on him quickly. 6'4", 185. I mean, come on. It's just I'm not. And KJ Hill says 6 foot 200 pounds, so smaller dude, kind of that maybe a slot. Definitely going to be blocking some. Corey Smith, I don't see him being a huge contributor. I think he's there more for a almost a player coach kind of angle.
I think he'll block too. I mean,
Oh, yeah, he blocks the fuck out of people.
Yeah. So that's how he makes his money.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I think Noah Brown's going to be one of the breakout dudes. I think Noah Brown's going to be a fucking beast. People are going to know him.
Yeah, we've heard so much, and just like all these guys, we've heard all these whispers and all these, this guy looks great in practice, all this shit, but we haven't seen it on the field. I mean, half of these guys on the depth chart we've never seen play, honestly.
Oh, I know, but it's because, good gosh, all the what did 9 juniors go to the NFL last year?
Yeah.
They had studs in front of them, but
Right.
these guys have the ability to be just as good. Some of them will be, some of them won't. That's just the reality of it. I mean, they're all highly recruited kids. All of them were highly recruited. There's a couple of slobs.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, Pickerington. Elflight, I was looking him up earlier. 5th year senior. He was a 3-star kid. He was ranked the 983rd kid in the country.
Wow.
That's always the feel good shit I like to see.
Yeah. So you got a lot of stuff that is new, young, that has to produce in a real college game. Maybe they've produced in practice, but this is a different story when you're in front of 110 in the shoe, you know.
I know, but that's the beauty of the or is if you're not doing it, there's a hungry guy right fucking behind you that is gonna be on your ass.
Right.
And if you think that Johnny Dixon and Terry McLaurin and James Clark are not gonna go hard, I think you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
That Benjamin Victor, I don't know, maybe that speaks volumes for that kid out of nowhere.
I think it's showing that there's real opportunity for freshmen at Ohio State. I think it's a kind of a bigger, maybe almost a bigger picture recruiting tool. You know, see a true freshman cracking the 2 deep. That tells the kids coming in, you know, not just 2017 but 18, 19, whatever. You know that hey, you know, freshman can crack the 2 deep, and he can still get a little bit of playing time without losing his red shirt.
And if you're that good, you can be Michael Jordan.
Exactly. Not everybody has an MJ playing for him today.
Did you hear that stat? Last time a freshman started at Ohio State on the O-line?
Right. OP.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Yeah, he turned out all right.
Orlando Pace kind of paved the way for Buckeye old lineman. So let's move it on a little bit. We'll quickly touch on the Torrance Gibson suspension. We don't really know a lot. It's been kept under wraps pretty much.
Didn't sound like Herb was really that irritated by it, whatever it was.
Yeah, he definitely didn't agree with this was a code of conduct issue, and the kid can't even go to school for the next 3 months. So you got to think long term. Does he stay in Columbus right now, or does he end up at a Florida school next season?
You know, you probably heard what Herb said. I did too. You know, that he's got no indication that Gibson wants to leave. I haven't heard if Gibson's responded that I'm staying or coming back or whatever. But I mean, can you imagine? You're fucking 19 years old, whatever he is, and you get some bullshit like this, and you know, I could see you going home and staying closer to home.
Yeah, especially if you're, you know, how many miles away? You know, who wants to just sit in their apartment for 3 months thinking about what could have been this season? You know, I could easily see a kid
up in some bad end by the end of that 3 months if he does.
Right. You know, or you end up, if he does stay, maybe you end up with a super hungry kid. Honestly, I haven't really cared for his demeanor since he signed with Ohio State, and he almost quit last year, or did quit, whatever the official, you know, release was. The kid almost quit. He's been borderline extremely selfish, to be nice, since he was a recruit.
Yeah, I'll disagree with you a bit on that, because I was seeing this earlier. There's someone else I was having a Braxton Miller conversation. They were telling me Braxton was looking good in camp or whatnot, and I was like, that is awesome. Braxton's one of my most all-time favorite players. Not only for what he accomplished at quarterback, which was crazy, but then to step down, not be a prima donna about becoming a receiver. And I kind of feel that Torrance, he was even younger than Braxton, and Braxton was a senior when he had to do that. Torrance is doing that as a senior in high school, basically. I get a little bit of it, I guess, in today's culture, that these kids are going to be a little fucked up going from. But I think he was smart enough, or somebody telling him, at least giving him some advice, is smart enough to say, hey, your future lies somewhere else, so kind of suck it up, big boy.
Yeah.
But all I ever hear is about his crazy athleticism. Like, he's just a freak.
Well, he looked amazing in the spring game. I mean, they put him on that sweep from a split end position, and nobody on the defense could catch him. That's okay. But I hope the kid stays in Columbus. I hope that he can work out somewhere nearby and stay out of trouble for 3 months, rejoin the team in January, and start a new path, because his career's not over. I mean, the kid's got,
he's good of an athlete.
Yeah, the kid's got the tools. If he just keep his head on straight, he'll be fine. I want to move along to Cam Burrows. We just learned the other day that he's going to miss the entire 2016 season. He's got that foot injury. Apparently, this has been lingering for a bit since 2015. He won't play football again. He's not transferring out, so I assume he's staying on scholarship. So, that definitely hurts the safety depth that we are having trouble with anyway. We got Damon Webb back there and Malik Hooker, two first-time starters at the safety position. What do you think? How does that affect our depth and our experience back there?
Well, I mean, all I've ever heard is like Malik Hooker is a stud. Also, a 3-star kid that's just a boss out there. So I'm very excited for those guys. Me, I love looking at the backfield on the defense, and I'm glad Damon Webb. I was worried there last year that he was going to just stay mired in the 2 deep for his whole career at Ohio State, and I hope he does well. I really do. I think the depth. I think Eric Smith is a good player. I mean, he got in a little bit last year. He looked solid, and Jordan Fuller, just from what I remember seeing of him with some of his high school stuff, is that dude's a thumper, and I always love a thumper at safety. So bring the wood.
Honestly, that's something we haven't had with our previous safeties. They've been, Von Bell's been a good tackler. I was gonna say they've been typically good tacklers, but then I remembered what's his name. So we'll move on from that. The depth does concern me, but I think we'll be okay as long as everyone's healthy, as far as Eric Smith and Jordan Fuller. And it looks good for Fuller to crack that 2 deep quickly,
Yeah, I think he's going to be. Well, again, we're looking at a bunch of young kids. I guess if Damon Webb totally shows out this year, he's eligible to go. We'll see, but I don't know. What do you think about the other piece of the backfield and the D?
Well, they got. I love Lattimore. All fingers and toes crossed that the kid stays healthy. But you got to see it on the field. It's one of those things that I talked about earlier. Is you got all these oars and all these freshmen on the depth chart, and you're like, we haven't seen these guys actually play. Michael Jordan, Isaiah Prince, like regularly. And same with Hooker, Webb at safety. Webb played well at corner, but this is a new position, so you got to consider that a new guy. And Lattimore's a new guy. And Arnett is now the nickel in front of Ward, which kind of makes you wonder what's going on there. So, there's a lot, especially in that back half. It's going to be concerning, especially if we face a good passing team, like Oklahoma, for example.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Conley came and showed up last year. I hated him after he got worked. I think it was by Lippett 2 years ago in that Mississippi game. Well,
he's come a long way, though.
He has, so he needs to be the man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then I think we got enough guys. Somebody's going to pan out to handle another corner spot.
Yeah, we got to pass along that DBU title. It's not going to die after this season. So let's move along quickly to the new kicker, Tyler Durbin. Herb likes to play with the media and say that he has no clue who this dude is. Says he can't even spell his name. If he's better than Nuremberger, I don't give a fuck. Nuremberger might be done, like gone, with an injury, which would not make me cry. The dude's been
the kid that kicked the 62-yarder in practice, right?
Yeah, he's like a former soccer player. So great. They said Herb says he's got great hang time on kickoffs. He's got the leg for it. So if you think about it, go back to last season. Was it last season that Kyle Clinton was doing kickoffs and long distance field goals over Nuremberger? So then what the fuck good is Nuremberger for? I'm about done with him after watching him clank a few here.
Yeah, he's been not that impressive. I just need a reliable guy.
Yeah. Fucking Germans.
I don't even need you to make 62-yarders. Ohio State's good enough; they'll move the ball. But when they're 45-yarders, we need you to make them.
Right. So, we're not going to dwell on kickers, obviously. Not in an offense that scores points like we do. We got some significant injuries to the depth chart when you talk about Pridgeon on the O-line. He was the JUCO transfer out of New York. Dude was almost slated to step in and fight for a starting spot. They didn't really say where on that O-line, but he definitely would add some depth. And then you got Darius Slade at D end. Obviously, we're chock full of those, but you take some injuries into the equation, and Slade could have been very meaningful. What do you think?
I'm not. I don't even think Slade would have seen the field that much this year. I don't know. It is too loaded. Maybe he could have outperformed Bosa coming off the knee or freshman Cooper, but I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know. I think the Pridgeon thing. I don't even know if Pridgeon would have started. I'm looking at this O-line. I don't know who he starts over. Maybe over Michael Jordan. But was he in that battle for one of the tackle spots?
Yeah, they talked about him at right tackle, giving Isaiah Prince a run. But Studabra, the O-line coach, was pretty set in stone that Brandon Bowen could play both tackle positions if he had to. So
yes, I mean I think it hurts the depth, and that'll.
And Pridgeon didn't even get in camp till what, like freaking July?
Right.
So they really haven't seen him much, and they won't.
I mean, to me, this team lives and dies on the offense up the gut, the center and quarterback. Barrett goes down, we're fucked.
we're gonna speed things up a little bit here and try and get it going with. We'll talk about Herb's quick comments on some players. I'll throw some at you, and just give me your quick 2 cents on these couple of guys. Number one, Weber looks like Hyde. What do you think?
I think I saw that. TBD, man. I don't know about that. He don't look as big as Hyde to me, and we'll see if he's as strong. But hey, if Herb's saying that, that's the one thing I've been so happy with the Herb. I felt like Herb always worried a lot. I don't feel like he's worrying that much this year. Like before, he's like, these guys just aren't there yet, and we're trying. And, you know, I feel like there was a lot of unsureness with Herb in the last couple years, even going into the seasons. But this year, he seems, I don't know, at peace. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I like Weber, kind of. I'm glad he's gotten his body together. The kid looked like a doughy kid early on when he came into camp. I'm glad they whipped him into shape. He's got a long way to go to measure up to a Hyde. I have to assume that he's blocking well if he's a starting running back. So
what I measure him up to is LJ Scott, because we basically gave up on LJ Scott, who looks to be pretty fucking good at Michigan State,
right.
And took Weber. So I just need Weber to be better than Scott. Up here in enemy territory, it's important. And I need Weber to put out.
Yeah, and then you can start buying his jerseys and wearing them around town.
That's right.
All right, next, lots of oars on the depth chart. We kind of touched on this. This is Herb's way, I think, of saying anybody can play, kind of motivating young guys, or motivating old guys too, honestly, that have been in the program, you know, and saying, you know, there's these hungry dogs behind you.
I think so. I mean, this is going to go away by the time Oklahoma comes around. I gotta think. You know, there might be a couple oars in there, but it ain't going to be that many. I think Herb knows good and well that most of these guys should have some PT this week against Bowling Green, and the following week. And you know what? It's your chance. You know, get out there, make some plays.
Right.
And if you do, then you're in the spot. If you don't, you're probably still going to get in the game, but you're not going to be listed on the 2 deep anymore.
Yeah. Thinking quickly, rolling back to the days of Tiffin Columbian High School, I imagine there were lots of oars on that depth chart if they had to release it to the public. Like maybe many oars, about 40 of them. So moving on, let's talk about if you want to quickly touch on any wide receivers that stand out to you, go ahead. There's like enough for a whole show here. You know,
I'm excited about all of them. I can't wait to see who busts out, because a couple of these guys I think are going to bust out and be awesome. And I don't care who it is. I'm pretty much a fan of all of them. So yeah. Good luck.
I got quick takes on a couple, like Noah Brown. Can he live up to all that? Remember last year's hype going into camp before he broke his leg? Can he live up to all that?
See, I think he kind of already is, because it just seems like all the coaches are like, oh, Noah Brown, he's the guy. You know, he's the guy. I mean, like, Booker's back, and there ain't no doubt about it.
I like to see trim
but
down.
All these other guys, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's 6'2", 218. I mean, he might be just Julio Jones beast.
I like, I want to see Paris Campbell hold on to the fucking ball. I want to see Austin Mack just be decent, be good. You know, you don't have to go out there and light the world on fire. Just, you know, play. And Corey Smith is going to lead the younger guys. You know, he's going to show them how to block as a receiver, which is very important in this run-oriented offense. Dixon same thing. You got to
Those
kind of.
knees. I don't think Dixon makes it through. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was always your boy. I was
Well,
never on board. We'll
He,
see.
he's one of those guys. He can only run straight. Don't make me do any cuts. No routes. We're going nines
Well, not
all
on
day
those
long.
knees. You wouldn't want to turn either.
Fuck no. You can blow a knee out. And then you got KJ Hill. I like to see this kid, see what he can do. He was measured, or he was slotted at H last year. So this kid bulked up, obviously. Let's see what he can do. McLaurin showed out well in the spring game.
Want to see? I like McLaurin. I've always have.
Yeah, he's a little smaller dude, kind of, but
He's
you know,
fast as
young.
shit, though.
Yeah, and James Clark, that dude hasn't done dick, and he's
He
even
has
smaller.
it. Gosh, already,
Being a
James.
sprinter, he's got that sprinter speed. Let's do something. Benjamin Victor, let's see you go up against at least Big Ten opponents and do something, because at
You know what,
6
though? Look at his size against all those other oars. He's 6'4". The rest of them are 6 foot, basically, or
Right.
less.
Right.
And they might have some red zone stuff for him.
Right, and maybe he would be taking some of the snaps that Torrance Gibson would have gotten. You know, at
I'll bet
6'5". You know. All right.
Yeah.
We talked about KJ getting added to the too deep late. Hopefully, as just an afterthought, and somebody just missed it. I hate to think that he was kind of being overlooked on purpose. Herb says he has no idea who Tyler Durbin is, whatever. I think that's just maybe tweaking the kid a little bit, see what he's got, because the kid's a walk-on, you know.
Yeah, I was just joking with him.
So that's kind of a quick rundown of Herb's comments and the people he's mentioned, not mentioned. Let's talk about who you have under the microscope this year, at least going into week 1. I got my microscope on some boys. Who do you have your microscope on?
Well, tell you what, I'm probably the only person in America, but it's on Raekwon McMillan.
Oh, okay.
You know, the guy led last year in tackles. Everyone loves him. Preseason All-American.
Yeah.
This and that, on and on. But I swear I saw too many times last year that he makes a lot of tackles right where he started that play, and I want to see some more penetration and flying through there more.
I would
tackles for loss and I felt like there was 5 and 7 yard gains all the time, and he was like, "What are you even back there for? That guy's already be by you. You're tackling him there."
Yeah.
So
I get what you're saying.
He's got all the speed and talent in the world. I hope he learned to stick his nose in there this year. So I'm watching him specifically. Okay. I think with all these young kids, I'm just excited everywhere. But I know I'm gonna be pissed too, because some of these kids are gonna do some stupid shit on the field, and you know me, when I look at this, I'm like, I fucking get on their ass.
Right.
Your plays, man.
Right. I
State.
The couple guys I kind of singled out are I start with the receivers, obviously, because that's kind of what I pay attention to most on offense. Noah Brown, I want to see what this kid actually has. You know, we saw him in 2014 season, limited. You know, he ran like one play as an H-back against Alabama in the playoff game. Didn't do shit, but he was much bigger then. I want to see this kid as a receiver and see what he's got. Corey Smith, same. I want to see what he's got after the broken leg. McLaurin, my jury is still out on him. I want to see what he's got as a starting, if he is truly the starting receiver at the Z. You know, these are question marks. Maybe Corey Smith not so much, but he's got to set the tone for the younger guys. You know.
Well, and Corey Smith, if I remember right, can't catch for shit either.
He caught a couple, he dropped a couple, and he fumbled a couple. So, you know, I don't know if catching's his big problem, but definitely hanging on the ball. Remember that Oregon game? Got coughed that big gainer up.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. My microscope on these boys is another motherfucker, Lattimore, not just on his hamstrings. I want to see if this kid take his health out of the equation. He's a big kid, you know. He's not just a burner or somebody like a Denzel Ward. He's a good sized dude. I want to see if this kid can play, you know. And hopefully he makes it through week 1 healthy.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, that's always a consideration with him.
Yeah, we've heard so much about him. That's why I put my microscope on him, because it's like, you know, I hear Kerry Combs say, "Oh, kid's got so much talent. He's huge. He's big," you know, but we haven't seen it. Let's see.
I know. And then all I hear Herb say is Denzel Ward, probably the fastest kid on the team.
Right. Exactly. So, what's Lattimore have over him, other than size?
I don't know.
And then my last microscope on this motherfucker is Worley. I want to see. I know he's not going to have the speed of a D. Lee, but I want to know if this kid can do it.
He can. The thing is, which sucks for Baker, is he can against BG. Maybe he can't. Maybe he starts getting busted up, and then Baker will come in and stop that shit. But I think it's a matter of time before Worley gets beat out by Baker, just because, I don't know, somewhere in the back of my mind I've got that Baker is this unstoppable beast that will not be denied, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I like that.
But like you said, you can't play every play, so they're both gonna need to contribute.
I like to see Baker in the mix, and you know, who knows? It could be week 3, and he's in there as a starter against Oklahoma. You know, who knows? And let's move it on to some pregame hype for the BG Falcons, a school that I have attended, among a long list of others. What are your quick takes on this game? I mean, obviously week 1 we're not playing Va Tech this year, so that's a luxury.
You know, it would. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I mean, last year, didn't Bowling Green have one of the top offenses in the country, and they ran a play like every 14th time? I mean, it's something crazy. Yeah. Now, I know that coach is gone now, and we got this new coach in, but I wonder if some of that culture is still there, if they still play tempo. I think it's a giant wild card, but you know the kids that go to Bowling Green and Toledo and play their football, they're not all slouches, you know. Yeah, there's some good kids. They're D1 athletes that, you know, a lot of them could be at big time programs, but they just aren't for whatever reason, whether that be socially or whatever.
Ironic that Herb started
a lot of talent. I think the last 2 times Bowling Green, the last 2 Big Ten games Bowling Green played, they won. Now it was Purdue and some other bum, but maybe Michigan. No, that was Toledo that beat Michigan a few years ago.
Yeah, right. Border skirmish. The true rival.
That's right. My alma mater taking care of the Wolvies.
Yeah.
Loving it.
The Rocket Power.
That's right.
What else? My thoughts quickly. Obviously, judging by the depth chart and what Herb has talked about, this is a game where everybody fucking plays. You know, everybody.
That's why I think you got all those oars on there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is, you know, a glorified practice, you know, like most people think. And we're setting up depth for the OU game.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to figure that out. But which brings me to one thing that I find interesting and am anxious to watch will be the Houston versus Oklahoma first week. I'll tell you what, Oklahoma, don't sleep on Houston and Tom Herman.
Oh, exactly. I would love to see our boy Tommy take him down.
See, I wouldn't. I mean, I would for him because I like him. I hope he's
Yeah,
herbs there a parent in
yeah.
15 years. But I think for Ohio State, I want Oklahoma to be all hyped up. Give them a good game, Houston. Because and the other thing about that is, if you look at Houston's schedule and that shit they play in, they beat Oklahoma. They can run the table, and then they take a fourth spot from a one-loss Power Five.
Exactly. It's doable for them. I would love to
It is
see it for him as
doable.
long as it doesn't cock block us, you know?
So I don't know. I actually want Oklahoma to win just for selfish reasons, but I wish Tom Herman he's got that shit going in the right direction.
Yeah. All right, staying on the BG game, what do you think? Herb spouts this always, 50-50 offense, pass run, I think that's bullshit. It's always been bullshit. He's said it for years. But it's always been run heavy. This is a spread run offense, not passing oriented. So, what do you think? You think this is going to change this season, especially in this game? You think JT's going to come out just whipping fastballs all over the fucking field?
I mean, I think if he does, it is going to be a lot of fastballs, a lot of low swing passes. Different things like that. Wide receiver screens, even. Some of these guys are just such freak athletes with such speed. If we can spread them out and, he can, hike the ball, turn and throw to a guy and let a guy beat one other guy, I don't know. I don't think, unless someone steps up and proves that you can pound the ball, because I do not want to run JT Barrett 15 times a game. I don't.
Yeah.
And it's my worry, and I feel that it's JT's comfort zone sometimes. But don't let JT run, especially in these early games. Let him run 15 times against Oklahoma when we need it, but don't let him run 15 times against Bowling Green. Please, God, don't.
Right. And you got Joe Burrow as the backup. Let's get the kid his plenty of pitches.
And if that is your backup, and knowing the history of Ohio State and quarterbacks going down, Joe Burrow's not a runner. Joe Burrow's a sweet passer, but he don't have that dual threat.
He showed some legs in that spring game. What were you watching?
He's a stork,
I'm kidding.
but he's a stork.
Right.
But I mean, so I'm wondering if the game will be more. If they'll keep the offense more, try and keep it fairly even, just because that's where his strength lies.
Yeah. So let's talk about the backside D. That was kind of one of my concerns. I don't think we're going to be threatened much in this game. I would like to see some of the backside getting together and actually playing together.
I'm almost hoping that they go tempo like Bowling Green did last year, because put these guys in a tight spot, make them think, make them know their assignments. I want them. Hopefully Bowling Green can test them. I'm not unhopeful about that, and I think there's some plays to be made, especially early on against this defense. But I think most of these guys can step up. I'm kind of with you. Of the four starters, I'm worried about Marshawn Lattimore more than anyone.
Right. We'll see. I don't think we're going to be threatened much on defense. I'm kind of concerned about that quarterback making it through the first half, a la Vatek last year. That quarterback went into the halftime talking shit and got knocked the fuck out in the third quarter.
Well,
so
it's interesting you say that, but I don't think I was just reading something on Bowling Green earlier, just trying to figure out, all right, who the hell are these guys this year? And it said the one thing that this new coach inherits is a really good offensive line, veteran, good offensive line. So that they're going to need it. They're going to need it, especially if we have all these guys playing, rotating, and the way Herb made it sound. Devon Hamilton and Draymond Jones are going to get as many snaps as Hill and Sprinkle.
Right. Exactly. And how many Bosas and Hubbards do you want laying on top of your quarterback?
I know, and good gosh, that's how do you? I don't know how Ohio State recruits for that strong side DN.
Right.
Hubbard, Holmes, Bosa, Cooper, line them up.
Yep. And Rashad Berry's going to get some snaps. That kid, he's just a freshman, and Hamilton too. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys collide at the quarterback. I hope that dude's got some wheels. Let's speed it up. We are getting long. Holy shit, we're almost at an hour.
We give you a good lot of material.
We lay it out for you, I'll tell you. Let's talk about the Vegas odds and our quick predictions. This will go quick. Buckeyes are favored by 27.5. It looks like the bulk of the bettors are 68% on the Buckeyes. I tend to agree with that. I would definitely take 4 touchdowns over BG. What do you think?
I would take it. I mean, I won't take the bet. You know me, I'm a pessimist. You got to prove something to me first. I think 4 touchdowns is a lot. That's a muff punt here, and these the guys who got returning punts never done it, or they've sucked at it. And a bounce here, a bounce there. I see it something probably like 44-21. And we don't cover.
Wow. You give them 21 points.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know how the defense plays. That secondary, if they're not in cahoots with one another, I know we got all the talent in the world, but we had it with Roby a couple years ago too, and we got torched all day back there.
Yeah. Yeah, and the over-under is 63.5. I would definitely go over on that. 62%. Yeah, 62% of the bettors are taking the over. I think the Buckeyes themselves will put up 56, and then spot BG 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't know anything about BG enough to know that defense. They're probably in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. let's just measure 40 times and be done with it. It's a big picture. This game doesn't, take away or add anything to the season.
It's a perfect first game of the year.
Yeah.
You're playing one of the better teams in the MAC, or they were better. Who knows how they'll be this year? But you're playing a perennial decent MAC team. That to me is, everybody in the Big Ten plays them, and it's a fair draw.
Yeah. So we'll see if this really has any effect, with the college football playoffs and the chairman of the board, voting on this shit. I don't think this plays much into their decision. So, this is just a quick start practice.
Well, it doesn't. It can only hurt you. It can't really help you.
That's a very good point. Yeah. And you got anything on recruiting? I haven't heard anything all week, honestly. It's been pretty quiet on the 2017 front since we hit our 10-star Monday a couple weeks ago. I did see Tyjon Lindsey broke his collarbone before his first game.
I hope he doesn't have Tony Romo's syndrome.
Yeah.
On the collarbone.
Oh, shit. So hopefully he bounces back and is able to finish his senior year. Transferred back to Bishop Gorman, by the way, from LA, so he can play with his boy Tate, and they can get wired up and ready for their Buckeye excursion east. 2018 been pretty quiet. Buckeye's definitely putting some offers out there. I love that quarterback Emory Jones that has committed already. That kid looks really good.
How you gonna? I mean, we go out and get one a year. He's got to beat the guy in front of you. But what we got? I don't know how Herb does it.
Yeah.
I'm glad he does though.
Yeah, they load up quarterbacks nonstop.
They load up everything except D tackle. We can't ever. We got a couple good ones, and we got a good one coming in. I know. So, look. Most of these guys were 4-star when they came in. They kind of stayed. I just don't see a Adolphus Washington, but I guess he was a DN when he came in anyway.
Right. So, yeah, I think it's a lot of moving around. I could see Bosa moving down, into a D tackle. So,
I mean, but when they got him listed at what, 265? You can't play D tackle at 265.
Well, they're gonna slap some weight on him, just like Joey. Put him in Mariotti's program. Be no time. So, yeah, I think we covered everything for this first week. I mean, this is a pretty good debut episode. We're probably going to tighten it up going forward. I'd like to do a 20 to 30 minute episode, but we had to cover a lot of shit, being the first week of the season. We definitely,
a little preseason.
Yeah, we got to keep it tighter. We definitely need your comments. Hit me at Joe at thebuckeyecast.com and hit me on social media. All those account names are at the Buckeyecast.com, or just the Buckeyecast, sorry. And I will pass those along to Sean. He will definitely digest them and tell me how much he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep this tight. I definitely want to hear from you people and how much we suck or how awesome we are. Anything else you want to cover this week, leading into the first week of the season? I mean,
no, I've been waiting. I'm excited. Going into this year, I don't have expectations on this team that are through the roof. If they lose 3, I'd really kind of understand it. You got the tough one at Oklahoma. You probably lose somewhere along the way on something that one of these young kids does and cost you somewhere, and probably one down the road. But that wouldn't surprise me. But it's got that 2014 flavor, and
I agree.
Anything can happen.
I agree. Herb has agreed with that too. I think he loves the youth and the speed and almost the unknown that the public hasn't seen. He knows something that we don't. I get that feeling from everything he talks about. So that reminds me of 2014, definitely. So let's knock this out, and we will see you people next week. I'll hit you with any quick hitters during the week, like a quick little audio clip to tell you anything that pops up important, like injuries or post-game stuff. But it'll be a quick message, and maybe I'll hit Sean up, and he can pop in with his 2 cents. It'll be like a quick 1 or 2 minute message. And find me on iTunes. That's right, especially if this is a shit game this week. So yeah, find me on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and all the social media, and we'll get better next week.
All right, peace, y'all.
All right,
Still doing
later.
that shit, Andre?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Check me out. It's still Dre Day, nigga. AK, nigga. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known